So another day, another UFC fight night card to break down. So we have the UFC fight night, Shamil Gaziev versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I don't know why this is a main event, but this is a main event. So yeah, let's break this card down. We have the first fight of the night, which is Abdul Karim Al Salwadi versus Laik Radzhabov. This is an interesting fight. I'm actually very excited for this fight. Abdul Salwadi looked really good on Dana White Contender Series against George Hardwick, who is a very hyped up prospect. Out of the UK, he is the went in there and he beat him pretty damn easily. So that was generally a very impressive performance. But I'm going to take El Sawadi here. I think he should get this one done. He fights pretty smart. He does seem to be a very smart fighter, so I'm going to predict him to get this one done. Good leg kicks. Actually, does he kick the legs? I don't actually know if he does kick the legs quite a lot, so that's going to be a bit difficult to know. I think he'll beat Radzhabov with the pace. He fights at a pretty high pace. I think he does kick the leg sometimes. We did see Rebecki destroy him with leg kicks. But I think El Sawadi fights at a high enough pace that he can go in there and he can sort of break Radzhabov. Radzhabov is going to shoot on him, but El Sawadi seems really strong. He's got that like Bilal Muhammad type build. I'm not just saying that because he's Palestinian, but he is built really strong. He seems like he has a strong base. So I think Radzhabov is going to shoot takedowns, not get them. I think he's going to gas out, and then I think El Sawadi is going to like sort of break him a little bit. So yeah, I'm going with El Sawadi, and I might take him by like late second round stoppage. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Then we have a new fight that just got added between Ludovic Klein and AJ Cunningham. I'm taking Ludovic Klein. AJ Cunningham is tough. But like he brutally got KO'd by Stephen Nugent, and Nugent was beating the shit out of him as well. Like he was really beating him up, and that's like Nugent's a featherweight, right? Featherweight, yeah. Klein does do better at lightweight, so he's a former featherweight. So it's not like a big size difference here. But Klein is going to beat him up. I really do think so. He's a really good striker, much better striker than Stephen Nugent in my opinion. I think Ludovic Klein is just gonna beat him up badly, man. Like I think this is like a mismatch. AJ Cunningham is tough, but I think he's gonna get KO'd again. That fight against Nugent was in about like what would have been in like September, right? Yeah, about September. And he did win another fight afterwards, but against an 8-10 opponent. I don't think that prepares you for Ludovic Klein at all. So yeah, I think Ludovic Klein's sort of going to show levels here. Then we have Christian Leroy Duncan versus Claudio Ribeiro. I'm going with Christian Leroy Duncan here. I don't rate Ribeiro too highly. Like, yeah, he got a win, but it was against... Was it Jamie Pickett? No, it wasn't Jamie Pickett. It was Ugly Man Joe, Joseph Holmes, that's it. Joseph Holmes, not UFC level. It was quite apparent he wasn't UFC level. He didn't look good in the UFC. His only win was against Amadovsky, and Amadovsky was not very good either. He was like one of the worst guys in the UFC. So, Claudio Ribeiro is not that good, and I think Christian Leroy Duncan is generally good. He looks really good in his last fight. He looked really good. He reminds me a lot of Cyril Gane. He looked good against Dennis Tulin, and I think he's going to beat up Claudio Ribeiro. He's going to kick him up. I think he's going to catch him in the second round, or maybe in the first round, but I'm going to say Christian Leroy Duncan just puts on a striking masterclass until he finishes Ribeiro. But if I have to predict like a method and round, I'm going to go second round KO /TKO for Christian Leroy Duncan. And then we have Javed Bashrat versus Ayman Zahabi, the brother of Fares. I think Javed Bashrat's going to win, but this is like a really like tough matchup to predict because Zahabi can fight the patient fight here where, he could just... No, he is willing to not do anything in this fight and, try and get a decision. He can eke out a decision that way. He does have the highest striking defense at bantamweight as well. So this is like a tricky matchup. We could get like a Trey Ogden's Daniel Zellhuber type situation with this fight where, you know, it's just a bit sort of like a pitter-patter back and forth fight, and whoever lands the most strikes wins. But I'm going to trust in Javid Bashrak because I think he is just a better striker than Zahabi, but it is generally a difficult matchup here. But I am going to take Javid Bashrak. I think he can still land a lot of shots here. He's very patient himself. He can fight a smart fight, but I have a feeling this is going to be really boring. You know, there's sort of two counter-striker type guys. I think this is going to be like a really boring not even like a back and forth. I think it's going to be a low output fight, but I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going with Javid Bashrak. I think he's going to get this one done. Then we have Eric Anders versus Jamie Pickett. I'm going with Eric Anders. Jamie Pickett, not UFC level. He's 13-10, man. Like, come on. We know this guy shouldn't be in the UFC. He's not good. Like, respect to him, respect to Jamie Pickett. But, like, Eric Anders, you know, knocked out Kyle Dawkins, and Kyle Dawkins sort of destroyed Jamie Pickett. I know MMA math doesn't work, but, like, you know, he had a competitive fight with Marc-Andre Barriault. He had a competitive fight with John Young Park that a lot of people thought he won. Like, he just is better. Like, he just is a better fighter. Jamie Pickett, you know, he didn't look very good against Josh Fremd. Didn't look good against Bo Nickel at all. Got destroyed by Dennis Julin. Got Darce choked by Kyle Dawkins. He got fucking KO'd by Jordan Wright. Got beat up by Tafon Nchikwi. Like, he lost twice on Dana White Contender Series. Like, he's not the greatest fighter. He's not UFC level in my opinion. And I do think Eric Anders can win this fight. And if he loses this fight, then he probably should retire. Then we have an unconfirmed rumor. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios is meant to be going down. I'm not quite sure if it is happening or not, because Ricky Turcios was like being very odd on his social media, saying like, I already beat him in front of his Mexican fans because he didn't show up to fight. That means I win by default. But if this happens, you know, I already did the prediction for this fight, the last card. I think Raul Rosas can beat him. I think he can knock him out. Ricky Turcios is very hittable. He was getting fucking knocked all over the place by Kevin Nurmagomedov, who isn't great at all by any means, and like he was having a back and forth like slugfest with him. I think Raul Rosas Jr. is better than Kevin Nurmagomedov. So yeah, I definitely think that you know, he's gonna be able to beat this guy, Ricky Turcios. Ricky Turcios just hasn't looked very good since winning against Brady Highstand. It's like he just stopped training after that, because like when he came back, he had that weird fight with Zahabi where he didn't throw any punches, or he did. He threw a lot of shots, but like none of them were like connecting. It was a weird performance there. But yeah, I'm gonna take Raul Rosas Jr. here. Then we have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Baksat Al-Makan. I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov. Beksat's not bad. He is tough. He's a very good fighter. But I have seen him get knocked down in his fights. You know, he is very tough though. 17-1, you know, that's a really good record to have. But I think Umar Nurmagomedov can sub him. I think they can go back and forth. I think he's going to do better than people expect. But I think Umar Nurmagomedov can drop him and maybe sub him. You know, drop him, club and sub. Or maybe even just knockout. But I'm going to go with submission. So yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov by second round submission. Then we have Matt Chanel versus Steven Astronboy Erceg. I'm taking Steve Erceg here. I think he's better in every single way than Matt Chanel. He's more durable. He's a better striker. He's more powerful. I think he's even a better grappler. He might even have better striking defense, which is crazy because Erceg's striking defense isn't the greatest, but I think he generally might be a better striker. He might have better defense than fucking Matt Schnell. That just speaks to how hittable Matt Schnell is. And he's younger as well. Steve Erceg's much younger as well, so that's another benefit for him in this fight. So yeah, I'm taking Erceg. I think Erceg's gonna KO him. I really do. I think he's gonna badly KO him. Like I just see him flatlining Matt Schnell. You know, Matt Schnell just always seems to get rocked and fucking dropped all over the place, and I don't see that changing in this fight. So yeah, I'll go with Steve Erceg by first round KO. Then with Alex Perez versus Muhammad Makayev. I'm going to go with Muhammad Makayev, but I'm not super confident on it. I don't I know he's 10-0 and he's got all this experience, but I don't rate Makayev that highly. I think he is a good fighter, but like he's almost losing every fight. But the thing is, I don't think Alex Perez has like that grappling, like threat off his back or anything like that to like, you know, maybe catch Makayev out of nowhere or anything like that. I don't think he has like the same attributes as all these other guys that have almost subbed him. And he is very tough, but maybe the leg kicks can pay dividends, but I think that he throws leg kicks, Makayev's just going to take him down. So yeah, I am going to take Makayev. I'm not super confident on this pick. I think if you're going to bet on any underdog, you know, Alex Perez is probably a decent underdog to bet on in this fight. Then we have Victor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. I'm taking Victor Petrino here. I just think he's got better cardio than Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro, you know, he's Aussie, so I'm rooting for him. But I think Petrino can catch Tyson Pedro or even take him down and sub him. You know, it's tough though. It is tough. Like Tyson Pedro's got a good shot here, but Petrino's just a different sort of animal. Like he's just a fucking beast. The man's a unit. He's very athletic. Like Petrino's just a much more athletic fighter. And Tyson Pedro, past the first round, his cardio has never really held up that much. So I'm going to take Petrino here. I'm going to go by submission. I think he's going to arm triangle him in the second round. So that's what I'm going for this fight. Then we have Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Sorry. I'm going to go with Gaziev because I know he can offensively wrestle, and Rozenstruik's wrestling's never been the greatest. We did see him get wrestle fucked by Overeem for 4.5 rounds, like 4.9 rounds until he got clipped. He clipped him last minute. So yeah, I'm gonna take Gaziev. I know he can offensively wrestle here. I think if he does strike with Rozenstruik, there is a lot of danger because Rozenstruik hits like a fucking truck, and he might be able to KO Gaziev. But I think he's gonna be wrestling here. I think he can, you know, fight in the with the boxing as well. He's a good boxer. So I'm gonna go with Shamil here. Like I say, not super confident on it, but I think he will be able to get this fight done. Oh my god, if I pick like all favorites as well, I apologize. Like, but I feel like this is one of those heavy favorite cards. Like, I just can't see in my mind like any of these favorites, you know, losing. Like, I don't know. Like, Klein's not going to lose. I see Leroy Duncan winning. I see El Sawadi winning. I see Javid winning. I see like no way Anders loses. Like Rosas, I gotta go with Rosas. Like Umar, come on. Like Urseg, like Makayev. Like if an underdog's gonna lose, I think it's gonna. If an underdog's gonna win, I think it's probably Perez. But yeah, I don't know. Really favourite heavy card here. So yeah, I'm not just picking them because they're favourites. I really do think all these guys are gonna win. But yeah, I'm going with Gaziev here. I think he can finish him or get a decision, but I hope it's not a decision. I don't want to see 5 rounds of these two fucking hyperventilating in the cage. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my prediction video. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.